Yahoo.com. And once again, people, what's on your mind? This edition of Right versus Wrong, Part 2. What is the victim mentality? I do have my special guest standing by. I'm still waiting on a special guest. I did let the special guest know the time and date. I do try to inform the guest to call in early, 5-10 minutes early. This way everything is prepared, ready to go. While we're waiting on the other guest, I do want to give out some information of where you can also find the program. J.TALKS to the People. You go on Google, type in J.TALKS to the People. You'll find links for the show on YouTube, on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play. And again, if you have suggestions, anything like that to enhance the program, if you some things that you like, some things that you don't like, some things that you would like changed, you can send all that to jtalkstothepeople@yahoo.com. I am going to go ahead and move on with the program. I do have a allotted time for air. And at this time, I do like to welcome back Miss Rain to the program. Miss Rain, how are you this day?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm doing good. How about yourself, J.TALKS?
Pretty well. I can't complain at all. There's supposed to be another guest. I did send out information to him to call in. I don't know if he's held up, but we're going to move along because I do have some information I wanted to get to. First, what I wanted to get into is we're kind of getting back into what we were talking about before. We were talking about the banking industry and business and customers being uneducated. For those customers that become irate or become outraged by their fees and different things that they weren't expecting, just tell the folks how do you engage and how do you resolve issues that come across your way like that?
The first step to dealing with basically unhappy or, customers that are having their disputes about the bank or the way that things work or fees or anything in particular is that you got to take your emotion out of dealing with customers who are emotional. When you're level-headed, you're able to convey what you need to them and any type of solution you can get to them. When you don't give them bait to go beyond what they want to do, which is argue instead of solve the problem, then you're able to resolve the issue. You're able to de-escalate the situation, and you might be able to create what is called a rapport with the customer, to where they'll want to work with the bank because you basically gave them a reaffirmation, like something for them to hold and be able to have high regard for with the bank. I've worked in many situations where there might have been something that went wrong at the bank. Maybe there was some check that wasn't sent out, or maybe it was a card that wasn't sent out, or maybe the way that the setup was, maybe it wasn't the right account for them. I'll try to arm them with information, explain why it happened, solve the situation, and resolve their feelings or sentiments. It very rarely doesn't work, and if it does, it has to do with an emotional thing that you cannot address because you have to be open and willing to have something solved instead of soaking in your feelings.
Okay. And so, what is, I guess, on average, the result of solving, these customers, clients that are irate? What's on average usually a result of handling that situation?
I think around about 20%, around about 80%. Only about 20% of them actually want to leave, if even after you do everything that you need to do to resolve it. It's amazing how long they will stay, even given the situation. If it's not favorable in their manner, they want to stay because that's where their business is. That's where they're paying their bills, they're getting their deposits. It takes a lot to have to switch a bank, so it will have to be, we would have to be completely negligent, or they would have to be just in that mind frame. So with most people, if you're able to resolve the issue, explain why, and show them the steps that you're doing to make sure that it won't happen again, it's really something that can be smoothed over. With most customers, no issue. But if you're highly emotional and if the customer is at an irrational state and they just don't want to.
I'm Michael Weatherly. Take a look at my new CBS drama, People.
Done, then in those cases, yeah, they do leave, but it's usually a small percentage, usually around about 20%.
Okay, and moving right along to this next subject, I also wanted to get into.
Oh, well,
I am
depends
aware
on what you mean by blame.
Information.
All can blame
folks,
themselves,
students, whoever, going to college,
being not as
getting
they
into a
ought
field
to be.
that they're interested
Okay?
in.
But when you compare
And,
the victims of
the
white
market,
supremacy
you also
to the white supremacists,
not just have to
the white
research about
supremacists are to blame for
colleges
everything
or
that
what's
their
the
victims
best
do. Why?
college
Because
to go
we
to,
are
university,
under the
but
white
also how
supremacists.
to
See, the white supremacists
research
are
the
like the
market
captain of a
and
ship.
see if this
All of them
field that
collectively.
you're getting into
Whatever goes
be
in error
marketable,
on the
or
ship, and the
it
ship
has
is
a
the
strong
this planet Earth.
place
People who
and
are
very
in charge
in high demand for those type of
are
jobs.
always
What's
to
basically
blame if something happens. It
your
shouldn't
experience
happen.
or view
That's
on
just the law of compensation.
getting started going to
That's the law of
college,
logic.
and also about
The
knowing
captain
if
of the ship.
once you
In
graduate
other words,
you
when
will
someone
have a
takes over
job
all of the
most
areas
likely
of
afterwards.
activity of the non-white people of the planet in economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war, and they take over all of these areas of activity and don't allow the people who are engaging in these areas of activity to have any say-so, except just the say-so that they allow them to have, which means they don't really have any say-so. Then that means when something is in error,
you really have to make sure that the decision that you make is based off of your future and keep sight, because it's not just the one decision that you make as far as what your career is going to be or what your school is going to be. Once you're in school, you have to keep sight of what your goal is. Important careers to where you'll have to get education.
well, anytime the white supremacists are involved in any
Doctors, lawyers, you can't avoid it. You have to get that level of education and be able to do those particular positions. But if you're trying to be in business and in some other areas, you might be able to get a job in marketing or something without that, with maybe a 2-year degree or some experience, or be able to apply right out of high school and get those things. I champion education. My family, I was always told to champion education, so I'm not saying that people don't need an education, but I think it's very important, especially in this generation, because the price of college is so high. When college started, it was something that was affordable, and in some places it is still, but this generation that's coming up particularly, it's been forecast that they're going to be the generation that's going to die in debt from the colleges. You have to make sure that these colleges that you pick are accredited and that it can go anywhere in case something comes up and you have to change. You have to think about the marketplace and the need for the future, like technology. Technology is not going anywhere. So you have to think about the field that you want and think about the future. There's a
Oh,
So
well,
another
it
thing,
depends on.
decide not to go to colleges, with these technical schools, these for-profit technical schools, you're seeing the collapse of a lot of them, and it's not surprising. Their prices are insane. They rival that of Ivy League schools in some cases. I know people who haven't finished school and are institutes, they have $70,000 in debt in loans. I remember when my brother was about to go to school, and he went all the way down to Art Institute, very down there artist, and he decided not to opt for it because the debt was just too tremendous. And you can also cut down on the pricing by going to a regular four-year school with a strong art program, and cut down even on that pricing by doing half of your degree at a local community college, which is accredited. It has to be accredited across any college. You have to be smart. You have to get what you want, and not sacrifice your education for it. But you can't allow them to take advantage of you, because this could be the rest of your life. And with the Art Institute closing down, and most recently it's the ITT Tech all across the nation, there's people with degrees they can't do nothing with. A lot of those employers are blackballing those particular schools because they don't have instructors that are qualified to teach those classes. In some cases, I've heard of students telling other students what to do because the curriculum, the teachers don't know how to teach it. And this is part of the reason why the government shut it down. A lot of people are applauding it because it's almost at a level to where it's predatory. So you just have to be very careful.
And okay, so folks, this is J.TALKS to the People radio program. I have on one of my guests scheduled for today, Miss Rain, giving information so far about in the business world of handling difficult customers and what's the best strategy in order to resolve the situation. And then we transition to getting your education in college and also securing your future with that career. So yeah, get into of how, because a lot of times a lot of people have scruples and second thoughts about going to college, knowing if they're not going to have a career or career placement afterwards. Can you provide some solace and advice towards those people?
Absolutely. So the first step that I did out of college is when you have a degree, whatever field it's in, it still has a certain level of value. So if you're trying to break into the market for your specific career, there's certain hotspots on the internet, certain websites that are really good for your particular career. Of course, you can work with your guidance counselor, a career counselor at the school. You can also build up your work experience by working on the campus. In my specific, it would be engineering, and then it would be the lab that I worked in, and building those contacts and getting references from them. And that's good to help you get to that career. But if you need to get something because you're getting out of college and you're about to start having to pay for those loans and you need to get started with your life, you have to open up your horizons, think about the skills that you have, and go after specific jobs in certain markets that are related to that field. It might not be as exclusive, but it might be something in a broad sense that works towards it. Like maybe you work for business administration, you're going for something that's data input, you're going to something that's business forward so that you get your foot in the door. And of course, get some type of finance and get some type of experience as you work up in the marketplace.
Okay, stand by, folks. I do have my other special guest coming on the line. Just one moment. I'd like to welcome him back to... sorry about that. I had myself on mute. I do have my other guest that's just on the line. Stand by, folks. I'd like to bring him on. Stand by, Miss Rain. I'd like to welcome Mr. Ron G. How are you today, sir? What happened to you, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, I've been busy, brother. I've been, working, taking care of some things, so I had to call you in the last 15 minutes. How's everything?
Everything is good. Hopefully we can get to everything. We did miss like a good chunk of the program, but thank you for coming on.
No problem.
Now,
Having me on.
now I wanted to do this last time.
Have me on.
I wanted to do this last time. Where can people find you or find your show?
They can go to Wake the Hell Up 7. That's the channel. That's WTHELLUP 7, the number 7. That's the channel of YouTube.
Okay, now in speaking of your channel or your show, there were some terms that I find very interesting. I wanted to break down the definitions of. We're not going to have a chance to get to every single one because of time. But first, I wanted to go over just a few of these terms here. You used the term shine. What is the definition of shine or shines?
A person that doesn't connect the dots. Let me give you an example. If you see a tree, right? There's different types of trees. Now, if you tell a person that's a grasshopper tree, they're going to think it's a grasshopper tree. If it's not a grasshopper tree, it's a regular tree that influenced by water and nutrients. They're going to think it's the opposite. So when I call a person a shine, they think opposite of the definition of what is correct. They believe is correct, which is not correct. They don't have the connection of their mind. They're thinking of lower dimension or low IQ. They don't think outside what they've been told. They listen to what everything TV said instead of questioning what the TV tells them. That's why I call them a shine. They don't have common sense.
All right, and what is the definition of a handler?
A person that, let's say you are a person in charge of a business. You have someone that does your accounting, you have someone that does your paperwork, and they may have a lot more information of doing the business than you owning the business. Like a celebrity, they have certain people around them, like an entourage, to make sure they're all right. And there's a particular person that will make sure they do what they're supposed to do. Even like in sports, when a person goes on an interview by the media, they will have their PR director. The PR director will tell them what to say. Now, if they go against jurisdiction, then you will hear something about them that did this quote-unquote something recently, about 5-6 years ago, that they keep letterings on the person. So that's a handler.
Okay, sounds like real good information. This is what I'm going to do. I'm actually like to bring on my other guest, Miss Rain. She actually has some questions for you. She did catch your episode on the last episode, Right versus Wrong. This is Right versus Wrong Part 2. Just a moment. Okay.
How you doing, Reggie?
Hello, Miss Rain, how you doing?
I'm fine. I'm good.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah, I just have only one question because I didn't get the chance to get to your show. I didn't know where your platform was. But I heard you say on the other show, you said something about you're never supposed to give a woman your all unless she shows herself, or I'm not sure. Like, can you spell that in? I
give you a scripture. The book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 3 says, "Give not thy strength unto thy woman, for destroys kings." Because when you give your all to a woman, she seems not to satisfy. A woman at times is not satisfied. So you give here and there to make her think about what you're going to do for her instead of telling her everything. Because you have most of these women, when they get a lot of things, you notice that when they get a certain amount of assets, they destroy the man and tell lies on the man and make up assumptions. And we see this in celebrity, gossip, and all these other entities that we see on a daily basis. So a man's supposed to do what he's supposed to do for the woman, but he's not supposed to tell her everything. Let him do what he's supposed to do. Let his actions speak. As long as he's taking care of what he's supposed to take care of. Now, if you see something wrong, and the Spirit is showing you something, you comfort him and show him where he's going wrong. Now, when he does personal business, that's his personal business between him and the Lord. Because a lot of times a woman will make emotions out of opinions, and it will cause chaos.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. I guess I misinterpreted what you were saying because it was such a short lunch. I was like,
good. You understand what I'm saying? 75% of the time, the woman will say, oh, he's no good, he's no good. But when the friend find out or somebody else find out, hold on, it's a friend going by. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, so like if the woman, the relationship breaks up, the woman will tell 3 or 4 things of the bad things about the guy, instead of only one thing good about the guy, 25%. So she'll tell her friend, oh, he did this, he ain't do this for me, he ain't do this for me. And then the friends or people will find out that's not to be true because they see it through his actions. Because she couldn't get her way the way she wanted to. You understand? That's why.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I also think that it's kind of dangerous to be telling people like all the negative things, especially when you're mad. Like, because that information stays with them, and if the people decide to get back together, it creates friction in the situation around. They really should be dealing with it together instead of telling
Exactly.
their business.
That's the point.
All right.
Then on top of that, I have a question for you. I have a question for her. Why do most women prefer effeminate males that's not trying to do anything with their life? Why they decide to get with guys that ain't trying to do anything successful? When you have guys successful, put in the work, why you will let those guys go by until you get into your late stages, then you decide to get with somebody that is, suitable?
Yeah, listen. In my personal opinion, I aspire to feminine men. That is not my cup of tea. But what I can tell you from my personal experience, even when it comes to just guys in general that are not trying to do anything with themselves, women have a feeling inside of themselves. I think it's like misplaced motherly attention where they feel like they can fix things. So when they have a guy and they feel like he's their own, they'll ignore everything except for whatever he can tell her, especially if the guy has a mouthpiece and he can get it in their head. They'll accept it regardless of the red flags that they might see around them. Even if people tell them the guy is wrong or the guy is crazy or the guy is not doing what he's supposed to do, they'll ignore all of that because they feel like they can fix them and everything will be good as long as they're together, which is kind of unhealthy because you have to be good together and apart. That way when you're together, you're dealing with whole people, not fragile people with baggage issues. And I think that's like one of the main reasons why they go for those type of men. And then another thing is popularized in the media. They keep saying, which I never understood myself, like they used to do things when I was growing up. No, even like this work is way worse. Like when I was growing up, you won't watch a TV show or you would read a book and they were like, men need to get in touch with their prison inside. Men need to understand Venus or whatever they keep trying to get men to get in touch with femininity, which they don't really need to do. They just need to be more realistic with themselves. I think that it's okay for us to be different as long as we can understand each other when we're together. And now they're really in touch with their feminine side. You got the young thugs of the world that are, wearing wedding dresses at their wedding. Like, it's disturbing.
It is. Definitely is.
Okay, excellent stuff.
That's it,
All right, excellent stuff. We're really running out of time. Only got a few minutes left. There's so much more information I wanted to get out. I'd like to know, can both of y'all come back next Sunday? It don't have to be the same time, but can both of y'all do it?
Yeah, I get it.
Yes, we can. What time would it be? Just let me know heads up.
Let's say 1 p.m. Would that work better for y'all?
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. That's good. I could do that.
Okay, 1 p.m. Now, do either of you all have any more questions for each other?
Not really. I wanted to take a look at his program again. I got what was your platform?
It's hold on a second, the plane going by. It's kind of busy right now. It's WTHELLUP7. Wait the hell up 7.
Okay. I'll definitely look that up, and that's YouTube, right?
That is correct.
Alright, cool.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Mr. Ron G. a few more terms here. What's the definition of a yes man?
He complies and listens to everything. If a woman asks him to do something and he does it, it's one thing. If he constantly do the same thing, she's saying to herself, why is he continuing to do the yes thing? Why is he not giving me kind of a challenge or make me do certain things for my own? So a yes man will do anything to appease to the woman, and at times she don't have respect for him by being always, complying to her needs when she could do certain things on her own, certain stability. They don't have a mind of their own. They don't have a man. A man tells a woman, listen, this is not the right time to do it. A yes man be like, okay, baby, I'll get this for you right now.
And what is the definition of an alpha and a beta male?
An alpha man is always in charge, and he makes sure the house is taken care of while the woman is taking care of other things. While he's taking care of the financial, she's taking care of the financial in the house, the stability. Whereas a beta male just let the woman lead. And we know that 9 out of 10 times when a woman leads, she gets mad. She's looking at this man like, why is he always home playing Super Nintendo or Genesis or Sega, whatever 90 seconds have, or he's going out buying foolishness stuff. That's what beta males do. They don't have comprehension skills to lead the household.
All right, good stuff, good stuff. Yeah. So I want to thank both of y'all for coming on the show today. J Talks to the People. Thank you, people, for tuning in. Hopefully, you'll have us back for another piece of the action. Y'all made a good show today. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me on. Now, you are good talking to you.